Welcome in to From the Nosebleeds. Vince Lobiondo here in the studio with Pat O'Leary, Taylor behind the desk, and we got Seamus Doyle coming in virtually today because he has come down with something, not COVID, but
Phillies
Seamus,
fever.
what's up? Yeah, it's Phillies fever.
Dog, I couldn't hear any of that. All I heard,
Just to say what's up to the people.
All I heard was Seamus, what's up? After 3 hours of you carrying on.
Well, what is up? I guess he, yeah.
Do your goddamn job, dude.
This is gonna be the most interesting episode of From the Nosebleeds ever, because if you follow this podcast, you know that part of the lore is that Seamus cannot work with technology whatsoever. So shout out to Taylor for putting in the extra minutes over there, trying to get Seamus to be able to hear us.
It took him 20 minutes to figure it out.
Bro, I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah. Seamus, he's gonna end up getting lost at some point. But anyway, I guess I'll just carry on this conversation with O'Leary.
I will say this though. Hold on. I will say this.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear anything you guys are saying, so I guess I'm gonna have to dip out eventually. But all I want to say is Trea Turner is a goddamn king, and he's gonna bat leadoff. Enough of this Kyle Schwarber 46 home runs at a leadoff spot nonsense.
I
Don't
agree.
care who you are. Trea Turner's a leadoff hitter. That's all.
100%.
And this is ginger milk. My dad said it'll help me feel better.
All right, well, I agree. Yeah, Seamus, this probably isn't going to work out. He is inept when it comes to technology. So it's the Vincent O'Leary show here, and Taylor, of course. But as Seamus just said, in the last couple, what was it, 2 days ago? What day was it?
2 days ago, Monday.
The Phillies signed Trea Turner, superstar shortstop, to an 11-year, $300 million deal, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that was number one on most people's off-season wish list or best off-season shit. So O'Leary, how are you feeling about that?
I'm fucking ecstatic. I mean, you get an actual leadoff hitter.
I agree with what Seamus said about.
Yeah, if you put Schwarber in the 2-hole, you put him in the 3-hole, wherever you put him now, he's just going to be hitting 2- and 3-run home runs. He's instead of these solo shots. I mean, that's just astronomically better than just, I mean, I get starting off the game with a shot, whatever, but imagine starting off the game with a double and then a shot.
Listen, you know me, and I'm not at all a traditionalist of baseball.
Yeah.
Fuck the traditionalists of baseball, but I do believe in the fact that your leadoff hitter should be a fucking contact guy.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I subscribe to in the old traditions of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that bats first should be a pretty high average contact guy who gets on base for the next guys to come up. In a perfect world, Kyle Schwarber should be batting fourth at cleanup.
Yeah, but we do have Bryce Harper, so we're not going to do that.
Yes, obviously. I'm just excited because Trea Turner is a legitimate superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings a lot to the game, as far as contact, power, speed, defense. He's got pretty much it all. He's a perfect jack of all trades, and it's just something that the team needed a good guy to fill in it short. Obviously Gene is gone, so now you have Bryson at second, and it's just an awesome. I would say it's a loaded infield if Reese wasn't still here. But, which, listen, God bless. I hope that he has a bounce back year. But
it's kind of funny here, what that we say. We hope he has a bounce back year when he's coming off a year where he hit 30 home runs. But still, it's just it's so infuriating, watching him play.
Because his lows are just so bad.
They're so low.
His highs are great. Listen, we on the show we are obviously Hosky and Hosky out, all that shit. But on a serious note, when he's on a hot streak, he is legitimately a very good player offensively. Obviously, I think his defense sucks all the time. Yeah. But offensively speaking, he is amazing when he is on one. Mm-hmm. But he's on one for a month. And then a cold, let's say hypothetically speaking, he's on one for a month, and then he's on a cold streak for 2 months.
Yeah,
and they always hit at the most inopportune times, in the World Series. I mean, obviously he hit a homer in Game 3, but
that was about it.
He was striking out left and goddamn right. It's awful to see, but adding Trea Turner, you're never going to be mad about adding a guy like Trea Turner into any lineup, and now this lineup is just studded.
And I think it definitely makes the lineup more complete because you do have guys that are more contact hitters, Alec Boehm and Trea Turner.
Yeah, Alec Boehm. Yeah,
it's you're adding to these contact hitters, and you're adding a guy that'll actually also slug a little bit too. He just won a silver slugger last year. Like
he brings a little bit of everything. But like this lineup now, looking at it, like you got Kyle Schwarber, who just led the NL in homers. You have Nick Castellanos, who could have a bounce back year. Like I know that we're all so low on him right now, rightfully so, because he just had an awful fucking year, pretty much. Even though somehow he pulled a couple defensive studded plays out of his ass.
Well, because he took Adderall in the playoffs.
There you go.
He was juicing.
So like you have Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, who like if he bounces back to even half of what he was before he came here, like he's a star. Bryce Harper, nothing need be said there. Trea Turner now in the mix. Alec Boehm, who, like you said, is a great contact guy at this point. Hopefully he can add some power, but like I'll take the contact hitting, whatever.
Yeah.
Bryson Stott, who like has been able to put together amazing at bats. Like he's a veteran.
That's the craziest part about him. He's such a young guy, and he's like putting together these like 10 pitch at bats.
Absolutely. Like in the playoffs, you hope that like some more of those at bats like lead to hits or walks. But like it's just impressive seeing him work a count the way he does at such a young age. JT Realmuto is still in the lineup. Obviously, he's great. And then looking at another aspect of the team, the pitching, they just added Taijuan Walker, right? That's how you pronounce his first name. I don't want to fuck that up. But he's like a pretty decent pitcher. Obviously, he's not Rodon, but like you look at what Rodon's going to get paid. I just pronounced it two different ways. I'm a jackass. Rodon, whatever. That's how I'm going to go with it. Yeah, he's going to get paid like $30 million.
My biggest thing, too, is like so many people were kind of disappointed in the Walker signing because it was 4 years, 17 mil. Or 18 mil.
Everything's an overpay nowadays. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, and the other thing too for me is like he was a good pitcher last year. He was 12-5. He had a 3.9 ERA. Like that is very solid. That's like third, fourth guy numbers.
Yeah, the number 3. Like you have Wheels, Nola, Walker, and Ranger now, and then Painter comes up at some point, and like Dombrowski said, like he has a very good shot of making the roster opening day.
That was great to hear.
Yeah,
so
like
very encouraging.
The listen, obviously you would love a guy like Rodon. He's a fucking star, but like.
You also got to look at like the negatives of signing him though, because there was some speculation. This was his first 100-inning season ever.
Yeah. So
and it's like his 6th year in the league. Like, do we really need another guy that's going to be injured? Zach Eflin.
Yeah. Zach, you mean the guy who got the largest contract in Tampa Bay Rays history, Zach Eflin?
$30 million.
That is the most insane fucking thing I've ever heard. But I love Zach Eflin, so I digress.
So does Aaron Nola, so he'll probably suck this year. But the thing with Walker is like so many people were down on the money and all that. And it's like, honestly, who fucking cares?
Listen, everything's an overpay now. Look back at Bryce Harper's contract. At the time, it was like, wow, that's a big, long contract. Yeah. Now that contract is like a cheap deal. Right. Dude, like, everyone's like, oh, Trea Turner, we're going to be paying him this much when he's 39 years old. Who fucking knows what the cap looks like at that point? Like it'll be so much different that by the time you even get there, which by the way, like let's not even pretend like 20 fucking 30 whatever is a real time. Like the world's gonna end by then.
It's all gonna burn.
But anyway, like once you get there, like the money's not gonna look the same as it does now.
No.
So like let's fucking cross that bridge when we get there. Like Seamus alluded to this on Twitter, and I will talk about it a little bit here, and it applies for the Eagles. Like the negativity, like I really do feel like sometimes people just want to be negative. Like we make a bombshell signing in Trea Turner, sign a good friend of Bryce Harper, a guy that could come here and carry some of the load while Bryce is gone for half the season. Like a fantastic player by every metric of baseball, and you have people bitching and complaining about what money we'll be spending in 2030.
Yeah,
like who
literally don't give
actually cares? Who cares? We will worry about that when we get there. And like I just said, the money won't look the same. Like for now, why can't we just be happy? We just signed a stud.
I know. And
another star is in our lineup now.
And you're not paying him like insane money. Like that's the other thing too. It's like you're really not paying
the
him
money per year isn't crazy at all.
I know, especially
like what, 27 a year?
Yeah, and you just got Aaron Judge who's getting paid $40 million a year now. Like Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh, how about John Heyman fucking that one?
That was hysterical.
Tweeting Arson Judge going to the Giants.
So many people were just tweeting at him to just literally off himself, and I was like, Jesus Christ! People take this way too seriously.
I mean, dude, that they shouldn't be doing that. That is an all-time fuck.
Giants
fans
funny. Very weird, very very strange fan base.
I don't know why this just creeped into my mind, but speaking of like years. Money per years on contracts. Cristiano Ronaldo is about to sign with a Saudi Arabia soccer club and get paid $207 million per year.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's so stupid. Funny to me. He just got benched for Portugal too. He's kind of washed.
I know.
But anyway, back to the Phillies. It should be, listen. I'm excited for the year. Like it does. Like it kind of sucks like when you remember that Harper's gonna miss so much time.
Yeah.
But like, as long as you have got like again, if Castellanos
if he
comes
wakes
back
up,
to what he is, Trey Turner's here now. Like, and I just said he can carry the load a little bit offensively. Like, you have guys in place that like this team shouldn't be like drowning before Bryce gets back. Like, you're gonna be competing for the division, and then Bryce is gonna come back, and that could be what puts the Phillies over the top to win the division. Which, speaking of which, why have Braves fans on Twitter gotten like so bold about like the Phillies are really doing all this, thinking they're gonna win the division? We just fucking beat you in the playoffs
after not winning the division.
Yeah, congratulations, you won the division. Awesome. Hang that fucking pennant up if you want. We got the NL pennant.
Yeah.
Like you sorry sons of bitches. Like listen, the Braves are a great franchise, great team, but like the fans are getting real bold talking shit on us when we fucking beat you in a playoff series this year.
Yeah.
That is insane to me.
I honestly love it.
Oh, I love it because it gives me fuel.
Yeah.
And it's like also I like when other fan bases make themselves look dumb. Like when it's not us.
Yeah, and there's been all this talk about, us signing all these big name guys. I think Jake Cave low-key is the biggest signing we've had. For no reason. No, I was kidding. No, you can laugh. Because that guy,
dude,
that signing
Jake
makes
Cave.
fucking no sense, by the way. Like, I get you want another platoon guy or whatever, I guess, in the outfield, but like, you already have Sosa who can play outfield. You already have Maton who can play outfield or anything. You could play fucking Vierling in the outfield. Like,
Marsh.
It seems so pointless to me. I get we got him for pennies. We picked him up off waivers from the Orioles, but like, it's so dumb. Like, I just don't get that signing, and I feel like they're just gonna end up waiving him at some point anyway. I don't even know if he'll make the starting day roster.
I also I love how I forget what platform it was tweeted out when Kyle Gibson signed with the Orioles. They said like the Orioles are loading up for this season.
Yeah,
like
dude.
signing Kyle Gibson
one?
is a sign of loading up. Like that is when a team signs Kyle Gibson, they're all in.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
fuck.
Come on,
they should have gone for Eflin
like,
too.
Jesus
Honestly.
Christ. Nah, he was too busy signing again. I state Dak Eflin was busy signing the largest contract in Tampa Bay Rays history.
I honestly don't know how the Rays do it because they had like I think they had $60 million on their payroll when we went to the World Series a couple years ago. That's fucking crazy,
dude.
Like, I can't even imagine that.
And they're always good somehow.
Yeah,
they pay no one.
I know. And it doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Good for them.
One of the other guys we got, Strom, whatever how you pronounce it. Apparently, people are saying he's like the white Alvarado. So I kind of fuck with that, honestly, because if we can just get more guys like Jose, then you just fill your bullpen with literally guys like Jose and
just
Sir
guys
Anthony.
that have heat.
Yeah, just literal heat. That's pretty much what everybody around the league is trying to do at this point. So, like, why the fuck not just keep doing that? Follow the fucking formula. If it works, it works. Like, that's what we got beat by was their bullpen. The Astros was just throwing heat from, like, innings 7 through 9.
I mean, their bullpen is fucking nasty.
Yeah, I know. But they came in throwing, like, 9,900 the whole time. And they were just smoking our guys with them.
Yeah. Speaking of the Astros pitching staff, Justin Verlander to the Mets.
Oh, my God. I love that.
Obviously, Jacob deGrom goes to Texas, which like they're still not going to do anything.
Yeah,
really. I mean, we'll see in a couple years. Good for Jacob deGrom. He's the best pitcher of this generation, I think. But I mean,
when he's healthy. Yes.
Yeah, when he's healthy. Verlander, like obviously he's really good, but he is so old.
I have a feeling he falls off because he went to the Mets. I mean,
and they
Mets
just have comically bad luck.
Yeah,
they're the Mets.
He's 40. Like,
yeah.
How long can you keep this up, dude? And he got shelled,
dude.
He got shelled in the World Series.
When will he just retire and like go live his life with Kate Upton?
I mean, she wants to keep supporting him, unlike Giselle.
Well,
so.
yeah, that was so. When they won the World Series and like she was doing that whole talk on the broadcast with them, I was like, Tom Brady has to be crying right now because like she was. But like, how are you Justin Verlander and you like just don't want to like just stay at home with your supermodel wife?
Because you could travel around the entire U.S. with her and she'll still blow you the whole way.
I guess. Listen, I think he's gonna fall off at some point.
Nah, he definitely will.
He's so old.
He either falls off a cliff halfway through this year or right after this year. I really don't think.
Mets fans were like coping hard about like losing DeGrom, but adding Verlander, like it's a big fucking loss, dude. You lost the best pitcher in baseball,
and then you got the former best pitcher in baseball from 10 years ago. Don't get me wrong. He had a Cy Young year last year, obviously. But still, I don't see it continuing that way.
Yeah, I mean,
for him.
This is definitely a year the Phillies could maybe win the division. I mean,
make some noise.
It's a competitive division at this point because
what the fuck,
Mets
dude? Like every Eastern division, every National Eastern division is now just sick.
The Mets, Braves, and Phillies are all good, and the Nationals are
No, I'm talking about the NFC East and the NL East.
Oh, yeah.
Just like everybody's sick
dude, we're
now.
like 2 years removed. Well, I guess we can use this as a smooth transition into the Eagles. Nice thinking, O'Leary. We're like 2 years removed from the NFC East putting a team in the playoffs that was 7-9.
I know.
And now
the entire division's about to make the playoffs.
Yeah, the whole
like,
division's in the
fuck?
playoffs at the moment. That's why it's so fucking funny that the Giants and the Commanders tied.
I know.
That is fucking
it made
amazing.
my day. Seeing
So
that.
all right, that's enough of the Phillies. There's not really much else to say. Let's move on to the Eagles. Their their big win over the Tennessee Titans to move to 11-1.
Tennessee Titans, one of the best teams in the NFL right now, right?
I mean, certainly one of the best defenses. Like, no joke.
No, I agree.
Like, one of the best defenses, and the fucking Eagles just had a game that they so desperately needed to have.
Well,
just shit-kicking a team.
I think my favorite part of the whole game was the entire week leading up to it. Obviously, you have WIP guys, ESP, being like, oh, they've had, like, the worst passing yardage games the past 2 weeks. And it's like, oh, wait, what'd you say? Oh, Jalen Hurts just threw for 380 fucking yards and 3 touchdowns.
What did we
come in
here? What did we come in here and say last week after the Packers? After the stupid and unfair uproar about the run game and after the Packers game, we came in here and we said, "You take what the fucking defense gives you."
That's how you win.
Listen, I get that the last couple weeks they hadn't been throwing the ball much, but like you're game planning for certain teams.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the Titans just so happened to have a little bit more of a giving secondary. So we fucking took. Also, I would imagine a little bit of it played into the fact that A.J. Brown was probably like, give me the fucking ball in this game.
Give me the rock, bud.
He said as much. He wanted to retire there. Yep. He envisioned his whole career there, and they traded him, which, by the way, how fucking hilarious is it that 2 days later the GM gets fired?
It was so perfect.
I mean, that is so directly linked to that.
The boss, the fucking owner of the team is getting flipped off by Birds fans, double birds for the Birds.
I mean, it's legit, though. Like
he was like, no more.
Dude, if you're the owner of the team, if you're the fan of the team, if you're even a player on the team, seeing what A.J. Brown does to your team, and then, like, meanwhile, your offense is garbage, it's like, we had this guy, and we got rid of him, like, for nothing. Like, Treylon Burks, obviously, he's not A.J. Brown. He's fine. He's good. He got hurt in that game. I hope he gets better. But, like, for example, the Eagles drafted Devontae Smith and then traded for A.J. Brown. Why couldn't the fucking Titans draft Treylon Burks and just keep A.J. Brown? Like, what is stopping you from doing that?
then you have two guys that have similar skill sets right across from each other. It'd be sick. I mean,
so
like
let's start off. I guess we'll talk about the defense. I want to talk about the defense first. I mean, Ryan Tannehill stinks. He sucks. And Derrick Henry, listen, this is the interesting part of this one. Last week, I came in here and I said the sentiment that most of the people in the city were saying, that it was a little worrying that A.J. Dillon was able to run all over us like that and kind of little boy the whole entire team. And we were like, oh, fuck, Derrick Henry's coming in next week and he's way bigger.
The king of little boying.
Derrick Henry didn't look great. What do you have, like 30 yards?
30 yards rushing.
I'm going to pull up the stats. Yeah, I mean,
literally 30 yards.
He's
I think
to be honest,
attempts.
he's in a little bit of a slump, like these last couple games, but the Eagles were able to shut him down completely.
Like, I get he's in a little bit of a slump, but if you have such a bad run defense, what the fuck? Like, the other thing too, though,
Jordan
honestly,
Davis comeback.
the only thing too, though, is like, obviously your defense is going to get better with Jordan Davis. But at the same time, I feel like the Eagles' defense has had more of an issue with shifty backs than they have with straight running backs. Because, like, when you're running straight at the defense, that's Derrick Henry's thing. He runs straight at you, he breaks a tackle, and he goes for another 10 yards. If you can't break that first tackle because you have 7,000 pounds of Jordan Davis and Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh on top of you, then you're fucked anyway. But also, like, those guys aren't going to be able to move as laterally to fucking get guys that are shifty as shit.
Yeah.
So that's why you see guys like A.J. Dillon, he's not that shifty, but he's still shiftier than fucking Derrick Henry. And you see guys like Aaron Jones having success. Jonathan Taylor, obviously he got shut down later, but that was mostly because their O-line sucks. But it's just it was awesome to see and very encouraging to see them just shut down one of the greatest backs in the NFL right now.
And Titans were playing from behind the whole time.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Well, dude, with the running game, the most annoying thing was in the beginning of the game, there were a couple Tannehill carries that, like,
that
I was like, how are we
most.
stopping Henry? But, like, Ryan Tannehill's running all over us. Like, he ran 3 times for 34 yards.
Yeah.
It must have been in the
I think he was their leading rusher.
Yeah, he was. He was averaging 11.3 yards a carry, though. Like, I was getting so mad in the beginning of the game.
Well, it's because they didn't think he was going to run because he had that ankle injury coming in.
Yeah.
So they're like, he's not. He didn't do it last week either. I mean, against the Bengals last week, he just sat in the pocket and took sacks.
Yeah.
because he could not move on that ankle. And I guess this week he felt better.
This is another game like where I'm gonna give a little bit of props to Jonathan Gannon. Like, listen, as much as this city wants to tear him apart, the fucking Eagles defense is like, how many sacks they have this week? Like 6 or 5, and they're like they're top 5 in the league in sacks, and I'm pretty sure like they are one of, if not the leader in turnovers.
Yeah.
So like clearly he's doing something right. Like, yeah, you let up 33 points to the Packers, but as we talked about, that was more a field position thing. Which, speaking of which, special teams. Coming into this game, special teams was a huge concern, and that was like one of the things like, oh, that's going to bite us in the ass. And they looked good.
Yeah, Britton Covey had, 118 yards?
Britton Covey
like
had
that?
his best game as a returner. There was a guy who I can't remember on the special teams. Like, he
Jack
made a
Stoll?
big... Yeah, no. He made a big tackle in the very fucking... on the kickoff. I can't remember his name, though.
I think it was Jack Stoll.
I don't think it was.
No?
It was a guy that like they just brought up and put on the roster, and I can't remember his name. I was listening to shout out to Bell and the Birdmen. They were mentioning him a couple times, and they made a good point. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, the Eagles call up mid-year, and you're like, where the fuck has this guy been?
Yeah.
Like, where has he been? I'm so mad I can't remember his name. But the special teams looked way better. Maybe that's a result of the coaching staff, like Sirianni getting more hands-on, or I don't know the name of the special teams coordinator, but like maybe he just got his shit together, which is awesome because you don't want things like that to bite you in the ass. You want Britton Covey to at least look like a competent return man. You don't want fucking the Packers to return every kick to like the 50-yard line, like
especially in the second half when you're trying to hold a lead.
Completely compromises you. So that was really big. They looked better. As far, again, just back to the defense, there's nothing really to say. I mean, the Titans' passing game is abysmal, especially when Treylon Burks gets hurt, and then the run game was shut down. So just props to the defense, man. I mean, Jordan Davis played limited snaps, but I mean, clearly he must have had some effect.
Yeah.
Because
and I think just the combo of him and the guys we brought in is just like, that's crazy, dude.
Listen,
I mean, we have 350
Howie
pound guys in there.
does a great job of correcting things midseason, and that was one of them. And then on the other side, the more exciting side for the Eagles, offensively, Jalen Hurts, your back-to-back NFC offensive player of the week.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks in a row. He's the first player ever to throw for 350 plus yards the game after rushing for 150 plus yards. The first ever.
Man just keeps making up like new stat records. It's actually hysterical.
Yeah. 29 of 39, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 of which to A.J. Brown, 1 of which to Devontae Smith, who both went for 100 plus yards.
Yep.
And then Jalen ran one in as well. For the offense, the beginning of this game was extremely fucking frustrating because there were penalties on every play. The offensive line was acting completely out of character. False starts on fucking... It felt like every single play.
Literally.
Every drive was getting killed by false starts in that first half, or at least the first quarter.
And you know they got their ass handed to them by Jeff Statler.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy, though, because like outside of the penalties, they played amazing.
Yeah.
But like the penalties were so annoying.
It was just so out of character for them. It was just like, what is going on?
Jordan Mailata got a couple.
Lane Johnson, the first one of the game.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey had 2, I think.
Mailata
had 2.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And then
I was watching it at Xfinity, and I was talking to my one friend that was there, and I was just looking at him. I was like, what the fuck is happening? We just entered like an alternate reality where where Jason Kelsey just gets false starts now instead of fucking like doing anything. And I know if Seamus was here right now, he'd be like, Jason Kelsey's not that good. We're allowed to criticize him. Shut the fuck up.
I was patiently waiting, or like I guess frustratedly waiting on the narrative to be like, oh wow, the Eagles offensive line's playing like this right after they released their Christmas album. Like maybe if they focused more on football. I was waiting
Christmas album that they recorded in July.
I was waiting for someone to say some shit like that. Speaking of which, the songs they've put out so far, fuck, they are actually really good.
Literally, so they were saying ahead of time that Lane Johnson's voice sounded like Elvis, and when they just released fucking White Christmas,
Blue Christmas.
I was literally just sitting there like, holy shit! Like he does sound exactly like.
It's kind of funny
your
that they're
boy
like
Elvis.
That. It's kind of funny that my boy, not my boy. Anyway, no, the offensive line was playing frustratingly in the beginning. They played a good game. The run game just wasn't. This is why I love this Eagles offense, because last week you set a franchise record, or I think it was franchise record or something close to rushing yards in a game. because that's what the defense
It was
is giving
the most
you.
since the 80s
And then you come out in this game, and clearly the fucking game plan was we're passing the ball, and the run game wasn't as much. Miles Sanders led the team with 24 yards, 10 carries, like nothing crazy. But Jalen Hurts comes out slinging and throws for 380. Like, this offense can beat you a multitude of ways. They can beat you close. They can blow you out. They can beat you through the air. They can beat you on the ground. Like,
they just can't beat you when the refs are calling shit.
It's a diverse offense, and like I don't know why people bitch. Like, that's what you should want. Like, because if you are one of those teams, like we saw last year, the Eagles were a run team.
Yes.
They didn't really have a passing game because Jalen hadn't taken those steps yet. Plus, the receivers weren't great. And they were a run team. And what happened? They got exposed because they said, oh, Jalen can't read the defense or whatever, blah,
exactly
blah, blah.
What Todd Bowles said to his entire team.
So, like, you saw a one-dimensional team last year, and they got exposed. So, like, do you really want to go in the playoffs where you're, like, say you're only a passing team and, like, you run into a team with a great secondary and you struggle to throw the ball and then you just have no established run game? Like,
I mean, that's what's happened to the Titans.
Or vice versa?
Every single time they've made the playoffs the last couple of years.
Yeah.
As soon as you shut down their run game, what is Ryan Tannehill?
They have nothing to
do?
offer.
Yeah.
Last year, it's funny enough you mentioned that because last year in the playoff game, the only thing going for them was A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know why people want us to be, like, one-dimensional. Like, no. Evaluate each team you play and come out and do what's best in your strengths, their weakness.
It's just because people don't believe in running quarterbacks, literally.
Yes.
Like, literally, that's why. Nobody can tell me otherwise. It's like that and another reason, but...
I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So, obviously, aside from Jalen, who... I mean, I'm going to go back and say I've been on the Patrick Mahomes was probably MVP for the last couple of weeks. I think it flipped this week with a Mahomes loss and the Eagles winning and Jalen playing this kind of game. I think Jalen... I don't know, like, I haven't seen the odds or anything, but I think Jalen should be back on top. And, hey, you can't just say I'm being biased because I've been fair and I've said Mahomes when Mahomes is leading. I think Hurts probably slightly edges him out right now. I mean, he's 11-1 and he just threw for 380 yards and he's the back-to-back offensive player of the week.
Yeah.
You kind of have to. But aside from him, obviously I alluded to 100-plus yards for Devontae and AJ, and that's the first time. I don't know. I keep forgetting if these stats say ever or in a while, but it's like the first time that an Eagles receiver duo has both gone over 100 yards.
I mean, I believe it because, I mean, the duos we've had in the past haven't been phenomenal. Let's be honest.
I have the stat up here somewhere. I'll find it at some point. But, like, this is probably the best Eagles offensive or wide receiver duo, like, ever.
No, literally. I mean,
like J-Mac.
Not even close.
No,
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
100%.
Okay, like J-Mac and Deshaun Jackson, like, they were great, but they're not A.J. Brown. Like, A.J. Brown is like... A.J. Brown's like everyone compares him to T.O. And, like, back when we had T.O., who was the next best receiver?
Hank
Like,
Basket.
yeah, so,
Freddie
like...
Mitchell, something like that.
So, like, that one... literally, I think it was Freddie Mitchell. So, like, that one's not even close just because it was only T.O. And then, like, Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin were both good, but, like, A.J. Brown is a different level of good. And Devontae constantly reminds people, like, when it's a Devontae week, like... He is incredible.
He's balling the fuck out.
He catches everything.
Yeah,
he's so good,
and he never fucking fumbles either.
No, and it's so awesome to, like, have the guy in AJ Brown, but, like, also have a guy at number 2 who is so, like, just good.
Yeah, it could also be your number one.
Yeah,
he could also
he would be a number 1 on plenty of teams.
Literally 1A, 1B.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Like, it's just so nice that, like, when AJ Brown isn't open, it's not like, fuck, like, where am I going with this ball? Like, I have Devontae over there, and not to mention we've mentioned changes his offense completely. Like, Dallas Goedert is going to be back in a couple weeks. Like,
what's he got? 2 weeks left on an hour?
Yeah, so, like, this offense is going to get back up to, like, what people said, it was in the beginning of the year and it isn't now. Obviously, they disproved that because the Titans' defense is a great defense. So I cannot wait for Dallas to come back, man, because that is such a pivotal part of the offense. Like, I loved those fucking screens they ran.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I've
They were
always
unstoppable.
Yeah, I've always been, like, an anti-screen guy. I felt like the Eagles used to, like, abuse them for no reason.
Well, because we lived through Chip Kelly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
So, like, but, like, seeing Dallas, he's so good at it. I felt like every time they threw a screen at him, it was, like, a guaranteed, like, 8 yards.
Yeah, literally. And it's like half the time if you throw him a screen in the red zone, he's going to the fucking he's scoring a touchdown. Like,
so,
it's been awesome.
Overall, this was just it was a great game, like, fun to watch. The Eagles needed this. I wanted them to just get some style points, run up the score on a team, just, like, embarrass them. Gardner Minshew get some snaps in there. Like, it's awesome. It definitely drove the narrative forward for us. Jalen Hurts MVP, Eagles best team in the league. It's unquestionable. We could talk about the next game we got coming up, our first meeting with the Giants, which is in Philly, right? We're playing.
No.
Are we playing?
No.
We're playing in Jersey or whatever the fuck.
Meadowlands.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. I think that we win this. What's the spread on this? It has to be like.
I feel like it's gonna be low. Honestly,
I would love to know.
Taylor?
So I'm gonna let Taylor pull that up. But I think I'm gonna say I think we win this game like pretty handedly.
Yeah. No.
Like
I've
thought all year the Giants are frauds. I've thought it all year. Like they were.
And they just keep proving they are.
They were 8-1
like,
at some point, right? And I just still didn't buy them. And then they lose to the Cowboys, and then they tie the Commanders, which is just funny as fuck. I'm not just saying this because they're a division rival. Like I believe in the Cowboys.
What did you think it was?
I'd guess it's like 6.5.
That
I was gonna say like 5.5.
it opened at -1.5, and now it's a touchdown.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I think we win this
Like-
game by like 2 touchdowns.
Is Saquon out or something?
I was going to say probably by the halfway through the Eagles game, they're like, all right, let's just hop on the Eagles now.
I think we win this game by like at least 14 points. Like I
agree.
Daniel Jones is going to get nothing on our corners. I believe our defensive line will get to him. We just saw our defensive line shut down Derrick Henry. I have no qualms in thinking they could do the same to Saquon. Obviously, he just shifted your back. But like,
I think they are gonna have some issues with Saquon. I would not be surprised if he had a big game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
honestly.
surprised. I'm just saying, like, hopefully they can ride the momentum of shutting down Derrick Henry. I would not be surprised in the least if Saquon rushes for like 150 yards or something. But I just think that they won't be able to keep up with our offense.
No, I agree. And
I just think that Jalen Hurts will come out and listen. Who knows if it's going to be running, if it's passing? But like, I just think that our
Doesn't
offense
matter.
is too much.
the other thing too with the Giants is they're terrible with defensive takeaways. So
Absolutely.
it's like also we don't turn
And
the
yeah, I
ball
was going to say
over.
we
So it's
also
like,
don't turn the ball over.
What are they gonna do on
Which
offense?
isn't that such a
Or on
it's such a
defense?
nice underrated part of our offense. Like they just don't turn it over.
Yeah.
Like that no one. I mean, obviously they fumble sometimes. Like AJ fumbled last week, but like for the most part, they don't fumble much. Jalen doesn't make very rarely does he make a big mistake and throw a pick. Like it's just such competent off. It's so like weird to say that. Like,
I know, especially
just-
after last year.
It just runs smoothly and it feels like that's how it should be. It's awesome. But yeah, I don't think anyone here is going to disagree. I think we all think that the Eagles beat the Giants.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
also don't even know who's their top option right now for wide receiver. The Giants, is it fucking Slayton? Is he
yeah.
back? I don't even know.
Yeah, Darius Slayton.
Half their fucking players are injured, so that's even funnier. But
Kenny Galladay, the biggest waste of money of all
the
time.
$1 trillion man.
That's insane. The Eagles' remaining schedule is obviously like pretty. I'm going to the game on New Year's Day. I've said that before. I'm so excited for that. It's gonna be cold as shit, but I don't care. You got the Cowboys game December 24th, Christmas Eve. I think we all kind of circled that game as probably being the most important of the year.
Yes.
And like I still stand by that. Obviously, like the MVP narrative doesn't go anywhere if like we lose a close game or something. But like I think that Jalen Hurts, I'm sure he is. So I'm not gonna say like he should be, but like Jalen Hurts should be circling that game on his calendar as like, okay, the Cowboys have had our number like since I've been the starter. I know we beat them earlier in the year, but like this is the first game.
Dak.
This is the first game with Dak, and whatever. I don't think Dak is great or anything, but like it's undeniable he's had the Eagles' number somehow, some way. So like the whole team, but especially Jalen, should be circling this one as like we got to go in there and like prove it, because like the Cowboys are on a roll right now. They blew out the fucking Colts really bad. The Colts put up a valiant effort in the first half, and then just shit. They got outscored like 33-0 in the fourth quarter.
I know.
Insane. So the Cowboys are on like a hot streak here. Like they're for real. I'm not gonna say they're not just because I hate them. I think we're a better team. But like you got to go into Dallas on Christmas Eve and like prove that.
Yeah.
Like again, if they lose a close game or something, I'm not going to be like, the fucking season's over. They stink. The Cowboys are better. No, if it's a close game, whatever. If we get like fucking blown out, that changes things. But like, I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe that we go in there and win a tight contest. I know I'm looking way further ahead now than just the Giants game, but that's just such a big game.
No, I know. I mean, that's front of mind for a lot of people, I think, right now, especially. I don't think anybody gives a shit more about any other game right now besides.
No, I mean, you got the Giants
Cowboys
again.
game.
You got the Giants again, the Commanders again, right? The Bears, like the
No,
Saints.
we already did the Commanders twice.
Okay, yes, you're right.
We
you're
got
right.
Giants twice. We got
the Bears,
yeah.
the Saints. Like it's a bunch of bad teams than the Cowboys.
We should finish strong. I mean, that's the plus side. Like,
listen, I would like to assume that, like, I don't know where it'll come. I just feel like it will, but like maybe there's one more loss on the schedule. I don't know if we'll finish 16-1.
I feel we're gonna lose to the Bears.
That would be fucking funny. That would be funny.
Bears can't find a way to win the game.
I would
It's,
listen.
it's
I don't
bad.
know, man.
No, it's
Justin
bad.
Fields gonna run for
Hey,
like 500 yards against
If
us.
we were gonna lose one game in the remaining schedule, I'll take the Bears.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that
Not
means
a division game.
that means it's not a division game.
Mhm.
We won in Dallas and we didn't lose when I was there.
Yeah.
So I'll take that gladly. But I'm just glad I'll be able to be there in the stands watching our draft pick get better and better. Which it's so funny.
It's
also,
so gratifying.
I've been like cheering like people have been asking me like for example Eric, friend of the show, in the group chat, like when I root hard against the Saints, he's like, bro, do you just hate the Saints? I'm like, no, I want our draft pick to be better. Like I was watching that Monday Night Football game and I was rooting so hard for the Bucs because like I want the Saints to lose every single game.
You're telling me you weren't watching the Sixers lose in double overtime to the Rockets?
Dude, fuck
You
this.
fake fan?
We're not even talking about them because like they're just so frustrating. But no, the Eagles should finish the year pretty strong. So I'm just excited. It feels so nice to just have a team that like it's like 2017 again. Like they just go out there and like you believe in them. You know they're gonna win. Like it's awesome.
It's like the opposite of what the Phillies just did because they went out there and we were like, we don't know what we're getting.
And
we have no fucking clue.
This has
if we're gonna
opened
make
up
it.
a debate a little bit to like the whole like, oh, is Jalen having a better year than Carson in 2017? Listen, it's very close, but I think the stats do lean to Jalen. And obviously people will hit you with Carson's weapons weren't as great, and that is a fact. And I'm not gonna just like shit on Carson here because I don't like him now. I loved him at that point.
He was playing out of his fucking mind.
It's like honestly pretty hard to pick which one of the two of them, like through 12 games, has had the better year, like in their respective years. It's kind of hard. I guess I would lean Jalen maybe.
I don't know. I think you honestly got to lean Carson because he didn't have a single rushing touchdown the entire year. It was
That's true.
all passing.
Yeah, and his weapons weren't as bad, so maybe I will lean Carson. Or his weapons weren't as good. Sorry.
I think if Jalen finishes this year really strong and wins a game, wins next game, wins the game against the Cowboys, I think it doesn't matter what the stats look like at that point. He's had a better year than Carson.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, let's talk about some other things from around the league. The first one I wanted to go on a fucking rant here about targeted at the most popular football writer over at ESPN, Adam Schefter. So Adam Schefter, before the Browns game, where Deshaun Watson, I was about to say pedophile, not pedophile, creepy person, made his debut of for the Browns. Yeah, Diddler made his debut for the Browns. Adam Schefter wrote a article saying how Deshaun Watson has made quote unquote significant progress in his treatment. And he knew that this was such a stupid thing to do that he didn't even tweet the article. It was just on ESPN's website.
Oh, really?
No, he didn't have the fucking balls or the nerve to tweet it. But like, I just want to, first of all, it's just distasteful. Second of all, like, what exactly does making significant progress in his treatment mean? Like, oh, Deshaun Watson hasn't jerked off in front of anybody in a couple months. Awesome. Like, what the fuck does that actually mean?
It just means he hasn't had any massages in a while.
Like, it's gotten me re-mad about this whole thing. Like, when the Browns, like, in the offseason would come out, like, Deshaun is remorseful, he's sorry, like, yada, 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 and then Deshaun Watson would get on the podium and be like, I didn't even do anything. So it's like, clearly, he's not fuking remorseful at all. He doesn't think he did anything wrong. So why are you getting in front of us and saying, like, oh, well, he's sorry? Also, like, you signed him, and you thought, like, you believed that he was innocent, but, like,
you're apologizing.
Why are you right then? Why are you apologizing? It doesn't. None of it makes any sense.
We're sorry for giving this man millions and millions of dollars. We're very sorry.
I lost all respect I had for the Browns and that team, like in the fans. Like in one, I know not all the fans are like ecstatic about it. Like some of them are fucking weirdos, like handing out like shirts and all that mannequin shit. It's all fucking weird. Bizarre. But like I respected the Browns at least for like putting up with all the shit they put up with.
Yeah. And
then the franchise said like signed him and did like the sneaky shit of like, oh, we're gonna give it all to him in the signing bonus so that if he gets suspended, it won't get touched. Like, it's so distasteful, and it's also so awkward now listening to anybody talk about like anyone on like national TV talk about the Browns because like you got to dance around the fact that the fucking quarterback is a sexual assaulter, like a pervert. Yeah, like it's insane. I just listen. I am not for rooting for injury for anybody. Like. Even if I hate like Tom Brady, I'm not going to be like, oh, I hope he goes out there.
I always root for him to get hurt.
I hope Deshaun Watson fucking breaks his leg or tears his ACL. I don't give a fuck.
I think it'd be even
He's a piece
better
of shit.
if he doesn't and he just plays exactly like he played last Sunday.
Yeah, he
for
didn't
the
look good.
rest of
Yeah, he
his
looked real
contract.
Thank God
He looked horrific.
Well, what did he hasn't played football in 2 years.
I know, it's awesome.
Thank God I picked up that fucking Browns defense in fantasy. Needed that
same.
one. That was
Picked him up in 2 leagues, fucking 30 points. I was like, oh, Jesus
He hasn't
Christ.
played football in 2 years. Listen, I hope he stays rusty and I hope he sucks because fuck that dude. But anyway.
I think it was even funnier he did all that in front of the Texans because everybody was like, oh my God, he's going to go off. He's playing the worst team in the NFL.
They barely even booed him. They're soft.
Oh, of course. Well, there's nobody there. They're not real fans.
Yeah, true.
There's no Texans fans, dude. They're all Cowboys fans.
Anyway, moving away from sexual assaulters, I'm trying to think of anything else that stuck out in my head from the week. The Bengals just own the Chiefs. Or Joe Burrow just owns the Chiefs, I guess.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
No, literally.
He hasn't lost
better
them.
than Mahomes.
Not quite, but Joe Burrow has proved me wrong. I kind of doubted them in the beginning of the year. It looks like they're kind of putting together low key like a season exactly like they had last year.
Yeah, they're rattling off wins coming down the stretch.
It's at the same exact point.
Yeah,
as last
like
year,
they struggled to start, and then like about midway through, like whatever week we're in now, like, they just get it together. And
it's crazy that
maybe we'll make a run.
That they were doing a lot of their winning too without Jamar Chase. Like, that is wild to me because he was such a big part of
They're kind of blessed with like the same thing we have going where like T. Higgins has like become like very fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And even Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, he's always been
good.
decent for them. He's always been such like an Iron Man.
They have a couple random white tight ends who are good. I don't know.
Hayden Hurst, baby.
What's the something with a
No, he's on the Jets now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Okay.
He left. Everybody was pissed
Look at
about
me.
that.
I'm a casual.
Everybody was pissed about that when he left Cincinnati. They were like, why the fuck would you get rid of this guy? He and Joe Burrow, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Hayden Hurst came right in and filled that white boy role perfectly.
Dude, look at it. Like, imagine if the Lions could low-key sneak into the playoffs. They would have to beat the Vikings this week, which fucking please.
That'd be
awesome.
The greatest thing ever.
But like they played the Bills close. They just blew out the Jags. Then after the Vikings they have the Jets who like I don't
the Jets
buy
are
them.
So
the Jets'
weird.
defense is fine, but like their offense is pitiful. Because
but
even
at the
with
same time,
White,
but at the same time, they're probably gonna have a field day with the Lions because the Lions D-backs fucking suck.
I would love if the Lions made the playoffs. That'd be so much fun.
It would be. It'd be awesome.
Like I said, the Commanders and the fucking Giants tie, which is awesome. I love rooting for a tie. Like I was rooting for a tie in this game, and I remember when the Bills and the Vikings played, I was rooting hard for a tie in that game, so that it would because on one hand I was
we
like,
had the leg up. We had basically a game and a half,
and it would have like legitimized the Vikings win for us.
Yes,
for them to beat the Bills.
Yes,
who by the way, like the Bills, who did they play this week? I can't even remember.
They were Thursday night.
They played the Patriots. Like, I don't know, dude. I still don't buy the Bills as this powerhouse. Like, I think in the playoffs, like, I think the Bengals or the Chiefs will beat them. I'm sorry, I just do.
I'm very wishy-washy on the Bengals beating them, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's more of like a quote-unquote hot take. But I don't know.
I don't see them beating the Chiefs.
Dude, like, the Bills' offense is piped. Like, let's just talk about that. They have Josh Allen, they have Stephon Diggs, and nothing else. Their line, not very good. They have no running backs. They're tight end.
Dalvin's little brother, dude.
Fuck Dawson Knox, by the way. Fucking 0 points on my fantasy team. He's lucky I won. But like
they gave him a ton of money, so he's gonna be good.
What do they have outside of Josh and Stephon Diggs?
Low key actually this week was the emergence.
Gabe Davis is fine.
He's like hit or miss. But I mean, low key the emergence this week of James Cook is gonna be huge for them, I think, because he actually made a lot out of nothing for them this week in the run game. He was kind of a big upgrade over Singletary because he can actually run and break tackles, and he's good in the receiving game.
Yeah, Singletary is just painfully mid.
Yeah, like he looked good to start the season out, and then he just kind of fell off a cliff because I mean they're not a run.
They're not
offense.
a run team. And not to say like it's gonna come back to like bite them, but like I feel like they are so reliant on the pass.
Yeah, they are. No, 100%. I mean, the only thing they rely on is Josh Allen running and passing. That's literally like their crutch.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh Allen running, and. That's the other thing, too, that cracks me up is because you don't hear people shitting on the Bills for running Josh Allen. But all you hear is people shitting on the Eagles and the Ravens for running Lamar Jackson.
I wonder
Hurts.
why.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
It's not listen, the people listen.
I can do both. I can do both.
Listen, the people. It's not like a hot take to say like the fucking whole like you should be a running back thing. It's a racist dog whistle.
Yes, it is.
It always has been.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a hot take for me to say that. Everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, another game that stood out to me, which is kind of funny, the Chargers lose to the Raiders, who, by the way, the Raiders have like low-key been like putting it together. They rattled off 3 straight, and they have the Rams next. Like, there is still a path to the playoffs for the Raiders, like, which is crazy to think about.
Happen.
They were never that bad.
Yeah, no,
they've had a bunch of one-score losses.
Yeah,
I know, but they kept losing.
They kept finding ways to lose, and like now they're kind of putting it together, and they're kind of like a fun team to watch. And also, like, again, I'm gonna go back to what I've been saying for a couple weeks. I've been on the Bills' ass, and I've been on the Chargers' ass. I like Justin Herbert. I love the Chargers. Have my favorite uniforms in the NFL, so I don't hate this team. When will it end? When will we finally realize like the Chargers are just not that great? I am so fucking tired of it. Like, they come in and like everyone again, they run with, I said this last week, oh, we're injured. At this point, you have to just expect that if you're the Chargers. You are fucking injury riddled every single goddamn year.
And your players are only getting older.
Yeah. It's just like I'm sorry, like Keenan Allen's hamstrings are fucking
Jello,
and like you expect, like, as with age, like that's gonna get better.
Nah.
No, I'm sorry, but it's not. The Chargers have things to fix, man. Like,
so they're the Sixers.
Probably, yes. That
see you in hell.
actually, it's not a bad comparison, dude. They're like just 6-6, and like Justin Herbert's good, and he's very good. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, but like I fear
he's basically just Cooper Rush, though. He's a gunslinger.
I fear that Justin Herbert may be like one of those guys who like makes sick throws, and like he's so good, but he's just not a winner.
Yeah,
like, and I don't know.
Which I could
Take
not
that how you
believe
want
they
it,
actually won last week.
Yeah,
with the fucking 2-point conversion at the end of the game. I was like, holy shit. The Chargers actually found a way to win.
Well, that goes back. Do you remember the Cardinals-Raiders game?
Mm-hmm.
That was
the
same exact thing. So it's all these like borderline coin flip games.
Yeah. And the funniest part too is like with the Chargers winning that last week, like, did it like make Brandon Staley look good?
People are calling for his firing.
I know.
That's what Staley does, yeah.
Dude, like
He
last...
just looks good all the time,
like,
right?
this is what I'm talking
No, he takes every risk possible.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, coming into this year, it was Justin Herbert's the next guy. Brandon Staley's one of the best coaches in the NFL. They're at 6-6, and now Justin Herbert, like, not to say he's not good, but like clearly he like is not ready to be the guy yet. He's not like he's not in the same class as I was about to say in the same class as himself. Josh Allen, Mahomes, like he's not there.
Jalen Hurts.
He's just Jalen Hurts is up there this year for sure, but like just he's not there yet.
No,
and then like Brandon Staley, people are calling for his head like at this point.
Yeah,
like
which is honestly warranted.
The Chargers are always overhyped. They just are, man. I
think it's just because people are so used to them being good.
They were ready to crown Herbert in year 3, and he has not made the playoffs yet. Not once. He hasn't even made the fucking playoffs. We're not talking about he's been there and he hasn't won a game. He hasn't even been there. But I'm not going to get too caught up in it because I talked a lot about this last week. But here's a game that had big implications on the Eagles and the NFC.
Oh, no.
Dolphins and the 49ers.
Okay, not that one.
The 49ers pull it out. Fucking, I don't know how, but they beat the Dolphins 33-17.
For October.
Jimmy G goes out, which that like sucks for them because like Jimmy G, we've said on this podcast before, he's like, we think he's mid. You know, he will break your fucking back with a bad interception in the playoffs at some point. But also, like, he's better than Brock Purdy. like,
how do you know that?
And Trey Lance. Don't tell the Niners
Mr. Irrelevant. Trey Lance. I kind of dude, I forgot the Trey Lance thing happened this season. It's been a long season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jimmy G's going to look great in jet screen next year.
Well, like, someone apparently today came out that, like, Jimmy G could possibly come back in, like, 8 weeks.
Kyle Shanahan addressed that, and he
that is
said,
assuming Brock Purdy wins you a playoff game.
Yes. Like, he'd literally come back in the NFC Championship.
No.
Like there's
and
no
then, like,
shot.
and then, like, what? You're just going to throw Jimmy G out there?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've been off for 8 weeks, NFC Championship time? Like, oh, my God, he will be awful in that situation.
Shanahan literally came out today because people were like, oh, he might be back for it, and he literally came out today and was like, there's a very, very outside chance that he's back. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Like, it wasn't as serious as people thought, but still, like, how do you just take off 8 weeks of football and get thrust into a fucking NFC
It's not going to happen. It isn't. First of all, again, that's assuming fucking Brock Purdy
I know.
wins a playoff game, which is not happening.
With that defense, let's be honest, who knows?
Hey, listen, the defense is good, but just like, listen, the 49ers stock just took a hit. That's all I'm going to say.
Which is awesome.
The Niners defense hasn't allowed any points in the second half.
Yeah, their defense is lights out.
That was before the Dolphins game, but I don't think they did either.
Well, the Dolphins...
Did they score in the second half?
Let me look it up. I got it. Should have it right
Yeah,
here.
I don't even know. I missed a lot of these games because I was obliterated at Xfinity.
The Dolphins did score a touchdown in the fourth.
Okay, well, 7 points in the past 4 weeks.
Get fucked, Taylor.
Dude,
you're
I mean,
wrong.
this was this was a fucking good week for Eagles narratives because the 49ers took, I mean, except for the Cowboys, which we'll talk about in a second. The 49ers take a hit. Jimmy G goes down, and that definitely hurts them, even though we think he's mid. Tua, bad game from Tua. Hurts in the MVP. Mahomes, a loss, helps Hurts in the MVP. Josh Allen's kind of fallen out of the conversation at this point because people
don't say that yet. Because people love sucking
All
him
I'm going to
off.
say is I hope people have seen what I see now. Josh Allen, great quarterback, will make dumb fucking mistakes. Jalen Hurts doesn't do that. Just saying. But let's talk about another game that has massive implications for the Eagles in the NFC, and that would be the Cowboys. I don't even remember what the score was here. A lot to a little against the Colts.
57-10, I think.
That is, dude. It's like crazy because we were watching
Mondays.
like in the game in like the coming into the fourth quarter. It was like a close contested game. It was like, oh fuck, like are the Colts gonna outlast the Cowboys here? And then just out of nowhere, like 33-0 in the fourth. Like looking at it here at the end of the first, the Cowboys were down 10-7. Like it's kind of crazy. Like it was a close game and then just out of nowhere. So obviously people look at that and be like, uh-oh, the Eagles only beat the Colts by a little bit and the Cowboys blew them out. Yeah, well, the Eagles also beat the Packers and like the Packers came back and beat the Cowboys. Like sports math never adds up like that. So I'm not worried about that, but like I would be a fool to say like the Cowboys offense isn't rolling right now because it is.
It wasn't completely the offense.
Oh,
Matt
the defense,
Ryan
yes.
is
Matt
very
Ryan.
fucking good.
I was convinced that we were going to see Micah Parsons kill Matt Ryan.
I thought he was going to snap him in half.
Like I thought we were going to witness the death of Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, listen, man, just hang it up.
Honestly.
just call it a career. I get that the 28-3 thing probably still hurts and you're like taking your frustrations out by continuing to play, but like you're going to get hurt, man.
He's gonna have like an Alex Smith situation. At that point, oof.
I think my favorite thing in the world was when Matt Ryan's like 500th touchdown pass ball was like number 283 or something like that.
The ball number, that was incredible.
Is so fucking funny. But the Cowboys defense is amazing. That goes without saying. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, as much as we think like he's not the best corner in the league because he's just not. Trayvon Diggs is obviously good. He's a turnover machine. He will get burned for some yards, but he will also create turnovers. Even though he was getting cooked by like third string wide receivers in this game.
Paris Campbell and Alec were going off on him.
Micah Parsons, I think, like Micah Parsons is starting to like fill like that Aaron Donald role of like I think he might be the most dominant fucking defensive player in the NFL. Which by the way,
everything too.
Aaron Donald has to just wish he retired.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, they just went out there and got they lost to the Seahawks, but I love Geno Smith. He's awesome. Not to get too far away from this game, but the Cowboys are just good. I mean, I'm very fucking excited for this game on the Christmas
I really
Eve.
am. I'm also dreading it.
Well, obviously, it's like that mixture of excited and nervous because, like,
as soon as it hits Dallas Hate Week, though, I'm fully in.
Dude, they're
Don't
good.
worry.
They're good right now. We're good. Like, I hope that we are about to see like a great fucking game.
I hope that we blow them the fuck out.
Oh well, obviously.
I hope they don't even score a touchdown.
I'm thinking realistically here.
I hope that Tony Pollard tears his ACL. I hope that Dak Prescott gets his other thumb broken off. I hope that Zeke gets his head bashed into a bench so badly that it's in his skull.
Zeke cannot stay because he's kind of mid.
No. I want them all dead.
He looked good last game.
Oh, yeah, he did. Excuse me. I'm yawning because I'm so bored of talking about the Cowboys because fuck the Cowboys. No, I'm kidding. It's just crazy. Like, Tony Pollard is so much better than him at this point.
No,
like,
I know.
It's he looked good last week, though, Zeke. I mean, the Colts are not good. I get that like it's kind of like a double-edged sword because I'm saying that even though like, we barely beat them. But, like, the Colts aren't very good.
They aren't.
Like they're bad. They're just. I don't even know why I'm saying they're not very good. I'm not trying to like.
The defense is
trying to like
decent.
be polite. Like no, they're not good.
Their defense was still like the 4th ranked defense up until like.
Yeah, I mean
2 weeks
Shaq
ago.
Leonard is good. That's about all they really got going
Forrest
for them.
Buckner, but I don't even know if he's playing right now. But no, I mean, they still have Stephon Gilmore too.
I constantly forget that he's there.
Yeah, and Kenny Moore. Honestly, Kenny Moore's been great for them.
The Cowboys sucking is going to be at an all-time high by the time we play them because their next 2 games are against the Texans and the Jags, and they are probably going to destroy both of them.
I
like
hope
they just
the Jags somehow pull out a win over them.
Listen,
that would be really fun.
Yeah, obviously the Jags have a chance at least, but like they just got blown out 40-14 or 16 by the Lions.
I know.
So like realistically speaking, coming into New Year's Eve. or New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, the Cowboys will probably be coming off 3 straight blowouts.
Yeah.
The Cowboys sucking will be at an all-time high. So, like,
Skip Bayless will just be like,
please let us shut that down.
First take.
Yeah, fucking hate that guy.
Just absolutely smothered them. No, I mean, I genuinely think we're gonna beat them.
Listen,
I just think we're gonna beat them into the ground.
I think we're the best team in the NFL. So, like, yeah, I think we're gonna beat them. But like, if I had to we're fucking drawing conclusions to games that are like a month away.
Yeah, I know.
But like, the final score to that game will probably be something like I think both teams are gonna score like in the 30s, and like it's separated by a field goal. Like, I think that both offenses are just rolling right now, and I can't imagine that, like, the Eagles have the Giants and then the Bears coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cowboys, and like the Cowboys have the Jags and the Texans. Like, I think that there's a good chance like both of those teams like win their next 2 games in like pretty big fashion. There's a good chance of that. So like, you're talking about a game where both teams come in on fire, and I think that makes for an exciting game. Obviously, it's one of those games where, like, for example, the Packers game was exciting, but I wanted to throw up every time the Packers scored. So, like, to a neutral viewer, I'm sure that game was fun, which I'm sure that will be the same thing for this Cowboys game. To neutral viewers, will be awesome. To me and you, it'll be fuck yeah when they score a touchdown, and then like I want to kill myself when they fucking let up a touchdown.
All the night before Christmas too. Fucking hey, dude. If they lose, I'm gonna have the worst fucking Christmas of my life.
Yeah, they could ruin fucking Christmas. I just thought about that. This could very easily go south. They might ruin Christmas.
Are you guys going to Dallas for that one now?
No.
That would be really funny if you were and they lost, and then you just had to spend Christmas really sad in Dallas.
Like the worst day to travel. Yeah.
Like, they could legitimately fucking ruin Christmas. My God. All right.
That's why I'm being optimistic, because they can't ruin Christmas.
And then the Bucks and Saints game was just like weird.
That was fuck stupid. I hated that. I lost fantasy
Tom
by
Brady
1 point.
Tom Brady just looks like he doesn't even want to be here, which makes no sense because he lost his family to be here.
That was the easiest game to predict.
Oh, 100%.
Like underdog all day. It's every time the Bucks and Saints play each other.
Also, once the Bucks got the ball with down 13, I was like, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Brady, just like, even though he is what he is at this point, like, he still has that dog in him.
Yeah.
Like, he does.
And I was just so pissed because the second to last catch right before the touchdown was Chris Olave, and I was up by 1 point in fantasy, and he beat me by like 0.5.
Chris Olave
Sorry, not Chris
good.
Olave.
Okay.
Godwin, yes.
Yeah.
He beat me. My buddy beat me by 1 point because Godwin had one more catch.
Olave,
he's the only guy I would trust.
Olave probably would have made
I know.
Olave's going to make a good case for Offensive Rookie of the Year, right? But it'll probably be. I think it should be Christian Watson.
Yeah. I mean, just the run he's on
right now. He has 8 touchdowns in his last 4 games.
Yeah.
Oh, after the Jets. Running back, what's his name?
Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brees Hall probably would have had it because he was looking.
He was
looking great.
He was looking sick.
But I don't see how Christian Watson doesn't get it now.
No,
he has 8 touchdowns,
especially if he keeps going like this.
Yeah,
dude. Now that he might have Jordan Love thrown him,
he is fast, man. He is fast as fuck.
He is.
Like, he might be like number 2 to friggin' Tyreek at this point. Like, listen, there's guys up there, but like he is. I'm not saying he's like. Oh no, I don't mean like number 2, like in terms of like the best, like fast.
No. I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I thought
you guys like Jamar Chase.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, Christian Watson is legitimately up there.
No, he is.
He's very good.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson will be up there for sure.
Garrett Wilson.
How funny is like the whole Jets, like, let's all collectively like subtly shit on Zach Wilson.
It's so funny.
Like
they're all wearing Mike White shirts. It's fucking awesome.
Propping up Mike White like extra hard. Like, where does
Spitting
Zach
on it before they jerk him off? Yeah.
I'm not trying to get too deep in this because I really don't care. But like, where does Zach Wilson go from here? Like, how does he rebound? How does he rebound?
Yeah,
he goes to the Panthers. Yeah.
Speaking of which, fucking Baker Mayfield to the Rams. Oh my!
So
the Rams are so clearly waving the white flag.
Yeah.
Half their team's out with injury, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's bring Baker Mayfield." He stinks. He's not good. It's gonna be so funny to watch that. Like,
maybe Zach
unfold.
Wilson will go there.
But like, no, like literally, like I don't know what Zach Wilson does. He's in what is he in year 2 here?
Yeah.
Year 2, and like the team hates him.
He either goes to the Panthers or he might go to the Rams, dude. And him and Cooper Kupp might sync up because they're both white and Christian. He'll just be like Matt Stafford.
I was listening to someone earlier talk about this. Like, Matt Stafford's injury has to be worse than they're making it known. Like, they have been like so hush hush.
He needs Tommy Johns.
Isn't it? I thought it was a spinal cord
No.
Like
He was having issues with his elbow to start the year out.
Yeah.
Well, what's his injury currently? It's a back thing, right?
I'm not sure what it is now, but it's.
He needs Tommy Johns though. Like, his throw has been off all year because he literally needs Tommy Johns.
He might be like done. Like
That
I
would
think
be
I think
so
Matt Stafford
funny.
like might be done.
That would be
Like for good.
so funny.
So like, hey, maybe fucking they bring in Zach Wilson. Like I don't know what that does for you because that dude stinks.
Yes.
That dude fucking stinks.
Flat out sucks.
He tricked everyone with that goddamn throw in the combine because he sucks, man. I knew it. Listen, I've publicly announced like when I've been wrong. Like for example, I thought Trae Young would suck. He's obviously great. I fucking knew that Zach Wilson was gonna stink. I just knew it.
He just had that look.
You
to
couldn't
him.
convince me Zach Wilson was gonna be good. I don't know why. Too pretty to be a good NFL quarterback. That's what it is. He looks like he's
Yeah,
he's
but then you look at a guy like Jalen Hurts.
well, Jalen Hurts is hot. That's
Jimmy
the difference.
G.
They're hot. Zach
Trevor
Wilson's
Lawrence?
like a pretty boy.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is ugly. I'm sorry, he's beautiful hair.
Baker.
Football Jesus.
Baker Mayfield came in like my girlfriend did the whole like blindly rank. Let's go. You know what? Let's end the show
Wait.
by going over my girlfriend's rankings of the NFL quarterbacks.
I'm saying that because have you seen that one video of the guy? They like turned all the quarterbacks into girls.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow was
looks really good, and Baker Mayfield
Dude,
looks really
Josh
good.
Allen looks like the ex-girlfriend that'll slash your tires.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow looked like a baddie. There was this thing going viral. This is what we'll end the show on because it's funny. Some like fucking website that would like do a quiz for girls or guys to rate all the NFL quarterbacks. Like you pick them up against each other and it does a ranking. And first of all, it went viral because some guy posted his girlfriends and it was like every single white quarterback and then every single non-white quarterback. And someone like went viral quote tweeting it saying, "Where was your girlfriend on January 6th?" So I'm gonna go over my girlfriend's the rankings of her quarterback
By
attractiveness.
looks?
This is by looks, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to start at 32. 32, Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, well, yeah.
Rough start.
Yeah.
Start.
31, Geno Smith.
Oh.
30, Trevor Lawrence. 29, Russell Wilson. Here's one where I disagree with. I think this guy's way too low. 28, Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's too low. I think Tua is pretty
Yeah,
handsome.
he's adorable.
Yeah, I agree. 27, Aaron Rodgers.
Nice.
26, Jacoby Brissett. 25, Marcus Mariota. 24, Justin Fields. 23, Kyler Murray. 22, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, Stafford needs to be way lower.
Yeah, he does.
21, Ryan Tannehill. 20, Carson Wentz. 19, Mac Jones. 18, 18 Derek Carr. 17, Sam Ellinger. 16,
when he was still playing,
16, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston over Tua? Jameis Winston over, like,
Stating your ass.
I don't know.
Whoa.
God,
got
shots
him.
fired.
Got him.
15, Tom Brady. 14, Jared Goff. 13, 13, Justin Herbert. 12, Patrick Mahomes. 11, Davis Mills.
I don't even know what he looks like in my head.
All
right
right,
now.
No, either.
Here's the top 10. Number 10, Kenny Pickett. Number 9,
Sure.
Zach Wilson.
Sure.
Number 8, Josh Allen. This is kind of surprising. These next two are kind of surprising. Where was I at? Number 8, Josh Allen. Number 7, Daniel Jones.
No, he looks like such an idiot.
Number 6,
Oh.
Kirk Cousins.
What?
He's got pretty boy eyes.
And then-
That's
No, he
why.
doesn't.
Yeah, he
Okay,
does.
so this is
Have you ever looked into his eyes, Taylor?
the top 5 is solid. I'll give her that. The top 5 makes sense. Dak Prescott at 5. This I would swap these two. Baker Mayfield at 4. Jimmy Garoppolo at 3. Jalen Hurts at 2.
Way off.
And Joe Burrow at 1. That's a
Can't
that.
believe she didn't put
Jimmy
Jalen
G's
Hurts.
got to be top 1 or 2. I know a lot of girls.
Listen,
like
I get it though.
Burrow.
Like, listen, that top 3 is undisputable.
Yeah.
Joe, Jalen, and Jimmy.
In any order.
That's
yeah.
the top 3. I personally think Jalen Hurts is number 1, and that's just not just biased.
No, I'd
I think
agree.
I
I mean,
think-
mine's fully biased. I'm going to be honest. But
I would personally rank it Hurts, Garoppolo, Burrow.
if we're changing them to girls, Jimmy G gets first.
Well, yes. But I would rank it Hurts, Garoppolo, and Burrow. Hurts. Listen, we're this is the Sheamus hour. Now we're transitioning to make up for what Sheamus would have
Yeah.
brought to the show. The combination of Jalen Hurts' looks and the way he dresses, like
He's a
puts him at
bad
number 1.
motherfucker.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously, my Italian brother, just out there looking good, dating porn stars and whatnot. Good for him. And then Joe Burrow's like every current girl's crush, like
Yeah,
for
that's
football.
I don't
So-
I don't see it with Burrow. Like he's got the swag and all that for sure. Just it's like
He's got like that rich boy look to him, you know.
yeah.
Girls
He
love
just
him.
looks very like
he looks
regular.
like he's straight out of Gossip Girl.
I think Tua should have been
Okay.
way. I can't believe Tua was 28 on that list.
Go look at Chuck Bass and imagine him with blonde hair. Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl.
Yeah, so that's Sarah's quarterback ranking list based off attractiveness.
I almost asked where she was on January 6th for a second, but
Hey, listen, no, she's got some dude. Fucking Trevor Lawrence was like
I
second
know.
to last.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, all right.
All right. And the Sixers. Well, that's all.
Ugh.
That's all I had to say. Just end the Sixers.
Fire
They're
Doc Rivers.
They're there, still existing. Fire Doc Rivers, and then I'll believe. Fire Doc Rivers, and then I'll believe. We've been on this train for a while now. Anyway, that's all I have to say about them. Fuck them. I'm not wasting any more time.
Do you want an ultimate doomer scenario?
Oh God. Yes.
Pat, cover your ears. Joel leaves and goes to the Heater the next season.
Yeah. That was.
Yuck.
I mean, that's like ideal for him. Yeah, I hope he goes to the Heat because he loves Jimmy.
Someone tweeted. Someone tweeted about how funny it is. The Phillies and the Eagles both signed like their star players like best friend. Yet like the Sixers trade away any friend of Joel Embiid. Like, oh, your friends.
He never
Yeah,
had
they're
friends.
Jimmy Butler. I know he didn't come back on his own accord, but like it was also partially
No,
in
I
the
know.
franchise. But
Justin Anderson was Joel Embiid's best friend though, and they cut him last year. So
again, I'm not wasting any time breaking down the Sixers. Fire Doc Rivers, and I'll believe. Otherwise, I completely believe what I've always believed, that we're a second round exit.
and it's just looking more and more like that.
It's just
every
not.
day.
It's not exciting. Please change it up. That's all I have to say. I still watch, but like
They
I
look like
watch
they
because I hate
actually-
myself.
The offense is just so stagnant. Like,
Doc Rivers can't.
he doesn't call plays. He's just like, hey, Joe, James, why don't you just go ISO? That'll be funny.
Fire
Like,
Doc Rivers, man. I can't take it anymore. Pat, anything you want to say to wrap the show up? Any
now I'm all
final
depressed
thoughts?
about the fucking Sixers.
Yeah, we started on such a high note, and then that just happened.
All right, no, I mean, let's fucking go, baby. Trey Turner, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a World Series again next
Listen,
year.
it's a good time in the city. I know the Phillies lost the World Series, but like you got the fucking NL pennant. Like that's still huge.
Yeah.
You just made a massive
Especially
upgrade.
when
like,
it's your first trip
yeah.
to the playoffs in fucking 11 years.
You made a massive upgrade. The fucking obviously we talked about the Eagles. They're 11-1. You can't complain about that. The
Mhm.
Sixers. Bleh. But anyway,
Flyers or the Flyers?
Who?
John Tortorella?
honestly, I'm happier that they're losing. This is what they should have been
Oh, no,
doing all along.
100%. Tank for better,
Yeah, exactly.
even though it's not gonna happen.
Anyway, Seamus, we hope you're listening.
We hope
We're
you get
so
better.
sorry that you couldn't be here in person, and we're so sorry that you also don't know how to work technology. That's on us. But anyway,
Oh, I've tried to teach him. That's not on me. That's on you at this point.
Whatever. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Guys, thank you for listening. We will be back next week with another episode, hopefully with another Eagles win under our belts. Go Birds, go Phillies, go Sixers, fire Doc Rivers, please, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Let's go, baby.